always the same, isn't it? Well, with me anyway. All quiet on a little country lane, switch the camera on and traffic. So yeah, it's great to be out and about and heading for the hills. That one in particular, the one right in front of me there, pentacle. I haven't been out, haven't climbed, haven't even done any walks or anything for months and months now. Been busy doing other stuff, as you will have. It's another car, as you will have probably seen if you follow my videos. Been doing other stuff anyway, but oh, it's great to be out. That's where I'm heading today. Heading for the Clwydians. They're called the Clwydian Mountain range, but they're not classed as mountains. They're just hills. They're not high enough to be called a mountain. Even though they're called the Clwydian Mountain range. And I've got a choice: Moel Famau, Moel Arthur, Pentacle, Moel Park, and the one I decided to do, which it's good. It's a nice walk. It's like a circular walk. I could park up at the car park, which is, well, just the other side. You can see a bit of the trees there on the hillside there. There's a car park. It's about, I don't know, 2-3 miles up the road. You could park there, but make it a decent walk like I do. I park back at Llandurnog, head up straight to the car park, which you'll probably see later on if I film it, up over Pentacle, down the other side, and then back via the Killsworth byway. It's like a circular route, and then you make your way back down to Llandurnog. Don't know how, I've never measured it for length. I don't know, 5-6 miles, is it, something like that. But it's all the way. The first half is you climb all the way up to Pentacle, and then the second half where you drop down and Killsworth byway, that's flat. Some great views, which I'll show you later, over the Vale of Clwyd. So that's it. That's what I'm doing today, and it's great to be out. Like I say, I haven't been out for months and months because of what's been going on, and also because I've got some new boots on, which I'll show you a bit later. Not new, if that makes sense, but I've had them, believe it or not, must be about 3 or 4 years, and I've just not used them. Added to my ever-growing collection of boots and walking shoes and whatever, which I'll talk about again a bit later. I've got various boots and shoes for various walks and various situations and stuff, which I'll go into a bit of a natter a bit later on. So yeah, but I've got them on today, and so far they're so good. It's a nice lightweight pair of fabric boots, Isotex, whatever that means. It's probably their equivalent to Gore-Tex, isn't it? Nice, light and breathable, but I'll show you them and talk about my boots and stuff a bit later on. But yeah, it's going to be a cracking day. It's the best day of the week, which, not that I mind walking in harsh conditions. Actually, absolutely thrive in the bad weather. Navigation skills come into force, which I am a bit of an expert. But yeah, so I've chosen today because of filming, because you know, obviously basically bad weather and cameras, although I'm using the GoPro, but I've still got my Sony camcorder, and I've decided to use my GoPro on this walk. So yeah, anyway, I'll get a few more mile up the road, and I'll speak to you then. Right, just a bit further up the road, I've come to the crossroads. Now, if I was heading towards Moel Famau, I would take a right, Pendrarwydd and Llangenhafel, I'd head over towards that direction, and there's a car. Amazing, isn't it? I feel like I'm back at the mental. Is it just me or what? Yeah, anyway, I'd head down that way towards Hendrerwydd and Llangenhavel. It heads towards that direction, but I'd keep going, and then I'd cut off, and then I'd head up to Moel Famau. But I'm not going that way. That's where I'm heading. That peak there, or what you'd call them, a peak really. Not another car. Is it just me or what? What's going on? Quiet country lane. I switch my camera on, press record, and cars just appear from nowhere. I tell you, is the mental? Am I back at the mental or what? Anyway, that's Moel Arthur, that blip you can see there. I could head to Moel Arthur this way, but I'm doing the pentacle because it's like a circular route. Not another car, surely. I'll be glad when I leave the road and I start heading up to Penaclodiau, the main path. No cars! Right, I'll speak to you later. Tora, looks like they've camped there for the night. I hope they're not from outside of Denbighshire, because it's a potential £10,000 fine. No, it was a horse box. I thought it was a touring, one of these camper things. There's one up here too, they're getting horses out, so I don't know, there's something going on. Just pulling the horse out from here. You probably can't see it in this GoPro, it looks like it's probably a million miles away because of the widey lens, but they've just got a horse out from the horse box here, so wow, some heat in the sun already, and it's very, very early. So there's horse boxes and stuff, I don't know what's going on, but anyway, obviously basically I've got a bit of a climb now, steep section, get the old blood pumping. Getting warm now. Anyway, got a very steep climb to come, and there's some heat in that sun. It's a lovely day. That's why I've chosen this day for filming. Best day of the week. Anyway, climb to come. What is it with these cars? Perhaps it's just me. I tell you, probably no one else gets this. Perhaps it's just me. Country lane. Switch the camera on, press record, and a car will appear from literally nowhere. You can also get to Moel Famau that way as well. Moel Famau and Moel Arthur actually. But I'm heading on that way. And it'll be dark. It's like the Black Hole of Calcutta with the trees come over the road. It says there, unsuitable for heavy goods vehicles. It's an evil hill, I tell ya. Evil. These boots are doing well. Actually doing very well. You can see them there, hopefully. First time I've ever worn them. They don't need running in, not like leather boots. If I got a new pair of leathers, I just go on a low level walk for about 10 miles, something like that, just to run them in. But you don't have to with these type of boots. These are very, very lightweight. As I say, Isotex. They didn't cost much, they weren't that dear, but they're perfect for this type of walk. Mainly on the road, as you can see there. But when I turn off, it's just a path. So they're ideal, these type of boots for that terrain. I was heading to the Ogwen, for instance, then I'd put a pair of leathers on, or Snowdon, sorry, Urwyddfa. Then I'd put a decent thick pair with a very stiff sole. The sole on these don't bend at all, they are very stiff. Or if I was just walking just on a low level, very low level, then I'd put approach shoes on. I've got loads of boots and shoes and all sorts. They're all different, different situations and different terrains, but these boots are ideal for the walk that I'm on now. Albeit, yes, I am going, higher altitude than say I was walking just around Denby and what have you, or even though they're not classed as mountains, but you do gain, I don't know exactly how high they are, 1,000 feet, something like that. And but the actual terrain, if you got walking over boulders and scree and stuff, and you'd need leather, I'd put my leather ones on. I've got Trek Scarpas. I've got two Scarpas, Scarpa Trek, and I think SL Attack. But you can't get them now. That's going back years. But Scarpa, they still make boots. It's getting dark now too. I'm gaining a lot of height. And the Carrymore KSB 3s, I think, was a very popular one, but I've worn them out. I've worn loads of boots and shoes out over the years. Obviously they don't last, like. But what is it with these cars? I'm convinced it's just me. Perhaps it's just me. No one else gets this. I'm convinced it's just me. But yeah, I've looked up, over the years, sold go on them. They earn their keep, shall we say? So that they don't last. But these, check for the cars. Good set of boots, these. Like I say, they're not brand new to me. I have had them about, it's got to be a good 4 years, 3-4 years. But I've just never used them for some reason or another. So yeah, but they're very lightweight. Very pleased with them. Very comfortable. Gaining a bit of height now, and it gets even steeper a bit further on. Which I'll show you in a minute. It may not look as steep as it actually is, but take it from me, it is steep. Gets the old blood pumping. Whew. But it will level off a tad, and then it goes through Coed Llangwyfan, which is Llangwyfan Wood, and then it climbs again. As I say, the first half to the actual hill fort, pentacle hill fort, is uphill all the way, and then over the top, and then it's downhill till you get to Kilford Byway. But that's level. It runs level along with the side of the hill, and then you just drop back down then, downhill all the way. Woo! Steep. See if there's any eggs for sale. Oh, sorry, no eggs. Oh, I don't believe it. Look at this. I'm convinced it is just me. It's gotta be. Anyway, no eggs for sale today. Look at this. Quiet road in the middle of nowhere. Get my camera out, press record. And there's another one coming now. Oh, I don't know. It's all good fun, isn't it? I'm convinced it's just me. There's something, it's the law of something. Just stand to one side now, because it's very, quite narrow. But yeah, wow, sun. Some heat in that sun. Give me a wave anyway. Look at this! There's two cars coming, these have both got to reverse now, and oh my god. You know what? Years and years I've been walking this route and I've never seen so many cars. It's uncanny. Never ever seen so many cars on this route. Anyway, obviously, basically, I'll be turning off in a minute to Clwydian. I'll show you where I'll be coming out from Killsworth byway. I'll have to turn off the road here for a bit. This other car. Oh, there's still... Anyway, I'll get back to you when I've gone off. Well, no, when I reach Killsworth byway, I'll show you where I'll be coming out. I've never seen it so busy. I'm convinced it's just me. There's a stream coming down the road here. After all the heavy rain last day or two. We had a monsoon, it was storm Alex, was it? Or Alec or something. And they dumped a hell of a lot of water, especially on Wales, North Wales. So we've got a little bit of a stream building up here. Right, just on my left here, this is the Killsworth byway. There's a sign there, but you probably won't be able to read it with this wide angle lens. That's where I'll be coming out. Head my way just where that car, there's a car parked there. Some people, when they go to these walks, they'll either park here or they're in the car park, which I'll show you a bit later, and then they make their way up pentacle. So I'll be heading over pentacle and then back down, and this is where I'll be coming out, and then I just head back down. It's downhill all the way then. Bit of another climb now up through Clwydian, which is Clwydian Wood or Clwydian Forest or whatever you want to call it. There's a few cars here too. You can make your way up the road, but I'll cut through. You can see there, well, I'll show you a bit closer in a minute. Clwydian. It looks like Coed, but it's pronounced Coed, as if you're saying C-O-Y-D. Bit of a Welsh lesson there for you. Hopefully you can see that. Clwydian, as I say. Non-Welsh speakers, keep your distance or come back. Social distancing, keep to one-way systems. Follow the countryside code, which I always do. But yeah, it's a lot of people call it Coed, as they say, better so Coed. It's not pronounced that, it's better so Coed. as if you're saying C-O-Y-D, Coed, better so Coed. Right, got a bit of a climb now, and then I'll start on the main path, which heads up to pentacle. It's an ancient hill fort, same as Moel Arthur, and there's a few of them around here, but it's a good circular route, this one. So there's two ways the path splits very shortly. I'll be taking the steep route, as you do, isn't it? Right, I'll show you the heights that you gain very, very quickly. I'll show you where I'll be coming out from the tree line there. From here, I think. Hopefully you can make out the tree line at the top there, and where the trees end, that's where I'll be. Well, that's where the path is. But when I get to the top, I'll film from there, looking down to where I am now. That's the amount of height you gain in a very, very, well, I say quick time for me, but not for many, because it's very steep up to the car park. But yeah, that's where you come out, and then the path carries on then. It's relatively easy walking from there on. Goes over Pentacle itself, the actual hill fort, and then it drops down, and then like I say, you got Killsworth byway, which is level, you know, with the runs more or less parallel with the top of the mountain, skirt around the edge of it, and then you come out to where I've just shown you, and then you drop down. It's downhill all the way then. So the only steep section to come now is when I turn off this path now, and then it's easy then. Wow, some nice heat in that sun. Yeah, you'll hear me a lot on my walks, mountain climbs and stuff. You'll hear me talk a lot about sections. I split the walks and the climbs into sections, because that's the way I've trained through, you know, the Mountain Craft and Leadership MLTB training board, land navigation and stuff like that. So yeah, you'll hear me say this section, and then the next section's flat, and the next section's downhill, and what have you. That's how I work. I split everything into sections. So anyway, this next section is the steep bit. A lovely day, beautiful day, and it's a nice quiet walk, this one too, although I'll gauge it when I get to the top of the car park, top of this section, and I'll have a look how many cars are there. But normally it's a quiet walk. That's heading up, you can't see it from here, but that's heading up to Moyle Arthur. That's a steep section too until you get to the top, and then it levels off a bit then. Yeah, beautiful day. It's great to be out. Months and months. I'm looking back from where I started, just in that dip, way in the distance. I hope, well, you probably won't be able to see, but you can see some buildings and whatever. I'll show it from the top. If I was using my Sony, I'd be able to zoom in, but I can't with this. But that's where I started the walk, and I've walked, I don't know, about 3 miles, something like that, is it? Perhaps a bit more. I'm not sure how long this walk is actually, but it's a nice, like, circular type walk. But yeah, anyway, obviously, basically, I'll be turning off. Well, I can carry on or turn off. It'll split this path in a minute, and then, but they both paths lead to the car park. And he's a walker. Just when I said it was very quiet, but you do meet the odd person anyway. Heading the way down. Yeah, normally you do meet the odd one or two, obviously, but it's not like when you reach Moyle Arthur, although that route I told you from Hendrywydd and that, you head to it from that direction. Very rarely, this is where the path splits. You can either go up that way or that way. I think I'll go the steep route. Yeah, from that direction, if you park up on the Written side, or from the actual car park, that's on, you know, the base of where it starts from the Written side, the Moyle Arthur car park. It'll be busy there, but routes like this, they're quiet. Or, like I say, if you want to head to Moyle Arthur, do what I do, park up in Llandurnog, head towards Hendrywydd and Llangenhavel and what have you, and then you turn off then, and there's a bit of a very steep section, and then it levels off a tad. But I've done that walk, I don't know, 1,000,001 times, and I think about once someone has, you know, been walking past me, like I've met someone and a fellow walker. But it's very quiet, as is this route from where I've started. Perhaps from the car park to Pentacle I might meet one or two, but normally it's very quiet. I don't know if you can, the camera doesn't make it out as steep as it is, but Gaining a lot of height now. Keep going, keep the rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep the rhythm going. That's what I do. Check your breathing. Make sure you get plenty of oxygen in your lungs. And just keep plodding along. Gaining a lot of height. 1, 2, 1, 2. And it's not easy gaining this height. Checking your rhythm and talking to the camera and trying to breathe. But things I do, things I do to make a video. But yeah, that is gaining quite a bit of height. I'm probably about halfway, and I'll reach the car park, and then I'll be heading off to that tree line. I'll film from the top of there down to where I filmed from the bottom, and I'll show you, well, I'll film towards where I started the walk, but the thing is, in this camera it'll probably look like as if it's 60 miles away because of the wide angle lens. But right in the centre of the frame, well, white sky there, and them trees, it's the car park. So not far off, but gaining height, and I'll gain more height as well. So I'll speak to you when I'm at the car park. Filming here. Different.
I've got my boots. I'm ready to go.
Just be told to keep quiet.
Okay, hold it there, guys.
Yeah, that's probably what them horse boxes and things are doing. Never seen that before. Filming horses, something to do with horses. So there's me yapping at the camera and she went shh. So anyway, I don't want to spoil their filming, obviously. Anyway, obviously, basically this section here now is pretty steep till I get to the stile, and then a bit of a climb, and then it's not too bad then to the actual hill fault itself, and then it's downhill all the way. So anyway, I didn't spoil their filming too much. Walking under the canopy. The duck in places is my 6'2". Warm too, even though the sun's gone, hidden away, but very warm, very close. Onwards and upwards. Wow, cool breeze now. That's another thing you've got to be careful of. As I was saying earlier, wow, it's quite a climb there. Hopefully you can see the height I've gained. Very short amount of time. Yeah, this cool breeze when it's been humid, you've got a bit of a sweat going, you get this cool breeze on you, the chill factor can hit you. You got to watch out for that. Zip up and, you know, put another layer on even. You got to watch that. You got to be very careful. That feels colder than what it actually is because I've been working up a sweat, built the heater, and you get that cold wind. You got to watch out for it. Right, here I am. It's the edge of the tree line. And right in, probably in the centre of the shot, hopefully, that's where I was. So you can see the amount of height you gain in a very short time. And that dip there, way off in the distance. It's just, well, yeah, just to the right. That's Llandurnog. That's where I started, that's where I parked up. So it's, I don't know, 4 mile perhaps, is it? Something like that. So it's probably 5 over the top, 6 along Killsworth, and then, I don't know, 7 or 8 back to the, hang on a second. I'm not really sure, I'm not really measured this walk. It's a fair few mile anyway. But yeah, right out in the open now. And as I say, you got to watch out for that. This chill factor can get to you. Although saying that, the clouds are clearing up a bit now. So the walk now is, it's not too bad at all. Just gaining a bit of height on this section. And then just over the tops. And it's downhill all the way then. Drop down to Killsworth byway. And then back down the main road. Well, it's not the main road really, it's the back road, like, but actually on the road. And no cars! No cars! Amazing. Right, once I get to the stile, relatively easy walking from there. These boots are working well. Very pleased with them. As I said earlier, if I was walking on boulders and scree, and if I was heading towards Urwyddfa or Snowdon or the Oggy and stuff like that, then I put leather ones on, but these are ideal for this terrain. Low-ish level. Wow, it's a flood in there in the Vale of Clwyd. I won't show you, but just over the green there. It's, I know where it is as well, and it's noted for flooding, and there's a hell of a flood there. You can see all the water. Wow, that is a serious flood. Hopefully I'll hold it there, right in the centre, just above the green bit. If you look over there, you can see, you might be able to make out a lightish bit on the green. That is water. That's a flood. Serious too. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Okay, just approaching the stile, and then a bit of a climb from there, and then it's plain sailing then to the top pentacle of the itself. Clwyd Llangwydion. Clwyd, not Coed. Being careful not to touch anything with your hands. You're climbing over these things and kissing gates and stuff. Don't touch anything with your hands. Cooler up here. Quite warm down the bottom there, but very cool up here now. Right in the centre of the shot there, with the sun on it, that's Denby. That's where I've driven from. Parked up in Llandurnog. Hopefully, I'm pointing roughly at it, you can see them houses and stuff there. See the creamery. That's where I've walked from. Looking back that way, probably roughly in the centre of the shot, you may just make out Moivamai and the Jubilee Tower. Wow, the chill factor's kicking in. Very cool wind. You can see a lot of floods too, all across there, and that one there. Some serious flooding. Where it's low level, lowest point of the Vale of Clwyd. This is the Vale of Clwyd, by the way, all the way along there. You can just about, well, probably not in this camera, but you can make out the Snowdon range. A bit cloudy, but you can see it, but you won't see it in this camera. It looked like 1,000 miles away, but you can make it out. But yeah, this wind is making it very, very chilly. Might have to put my earplugs in. The wind affects your ears. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I got earplugs or cotton wool. But that's the Vale of Clwyd. And I'm on the Clwydian Mountain range. As I said earlier, they call them mountains, but they're not. They're just classed as hills. They're not high enough to be a mountain, even though they're called, still called the Clwydian Mountain range. But anyway, easy going from now on. Just rough terrain, no steep sections, and then I'll get over the top and I'll drop down onto the Killsworth byway, and then it'll be downhill all the way then. So easy going from now on, happy days. Moyler Park mast, TV mast has just come into sight. And as I said earlier, very quiet walk. No one that way, no one that way. If you like a nice quiet walk, this is the walk for you. Pentacle. Bit of a pool built up here after all that rain. Monsoon we had. There's some serious flooding down the bottom there. Serious flooding. A bit sheltered from the wind here too. Block my ear. Wind. Whoa. Yeah. A lot of wind. A lot of rain. Summit Cairn. Oh, the wind's getting to my ears. I might have to, when I drop down, I might plug up depending on if this wind keeps up. I'll give you a 360. That's looking over towards Liverpool. Wirral and Merseyside and what have you. Right, I'll give you a 360. Don't get blown away. That's enough for that. Drop down. Oh, serious conditions up here. Very windy. Hopefully I'll get sheltered out this wind when I drop down. Absolutely no one about. We're in the park. TV mast. I'm dropping down. I'll speak to you in a minute. Dropping down now to Killsworth byway. It just shows you how conditions change. You've got to be prepared. Started off the walk nice and sunny and warm. The conditions now up here blowing a gale. Could almost just about stand up, and it's freezing. This wind is icy cold. I've got woolly hats and stuff and earplugs, but I haven't needed them yet. I'll drop down and see what the conditions are like, but we've always got to be prepared. And I'll tell you, when I drop down a bit, I'll tell you, I'll tell a story that I always remember. It happened on Snowdon. Oops, Urwyddfa. I'll drop down and I'll tell you, it's not funny really, but I'll tell you, anyway, I'll drop down when I try and get out of this wind, and I'll tell you something. I always remember it, always remember it. It's the TV mast, Moyler Park. on top of Moira Park? I don't think it is. No, it's not. Thought there was somewhere up there, but yeah, quiet route. Very quiet, this pentacle of here. Yeah, sheltered out the wind here. Yeah, I always remember it on Snowdon, Urwyddfa, and there was to be honest, the conditions weren't that bad. It was bright and sunny, but no wind and stuff, like it wasn't too bad. And it was me and one or two others up there. Anyway, I was pottering about as you do. Next to me, this voice, excuse me, he said, and I turned round, and there was this lad, and he was in a t-shirt. He had like knee-length shorts, flip-flops, yes, flip-flops. He had a carrier bag, which what looked like he had a bottle of pop in it, and under his arm he had an umbrella. He probably thought, oh, just in case we might get a bit of rain. And I couldn't believe it. And he said to me, he said, I'm trying to get back down to, he says, this path here, this route here, he said, can I take that? Will that get me down? And the route he was pointing to was over Clwydian. And I said to him, I said, which way have you come up? And he goes, oh down there. And he'd come up the pig track and the miners track and what have you. So I says to him, I says, your best bet, I says, to go back down the way you've come up. I says, I wouldn't recommend going over, well, I didn't say Clwydian, he probably wouldn't know what that was like. But I said, I wouldn't recommend taking that route. Flip-flops and a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. I couldn't believe it. That's, like I say, it's not funny really, is it? Serious, that, you know, but as I say, the weather conditions, you know, we're okay, like, but I can change, just like up there. It's not too bad down here now. I've dropped down, and the icy wind up there, wow, blowing a gale. But yeah, I always remember that. You know, he had a carrier bag, probably a bottle of pop in it, and he probably thought, oh, you know, started off, you know, it was nice and sunny and warm. He thought, just in case it rains, I'll take an umbrella. Wow, it was amazing. Always remember it. Right, heading down. Shortly, I will be joining Killsworth Byway. Load of cows there, taking shelter. It's not too bad here. It's sheltered from the wind. Right, Killsworth Byway is the next, and then it's a nice easy stroll all the way back down to Llandurnog. Wind speed. Right, joining Killsworth Byway. Trying to avoid the mud. That's heading up to Moira Park. This is the way I'm heading. Back to the road. About a mile and a half, something like that, perhaps 2 miles, this Killsworth section. And hopefully, well, I don't think it's going to, I'm saying hopefully it's not going to be too windy, but it doesn't look like it. Right, I'm actually on Killsworth Byway now. So this is level now, all the way back to the road. Some cracking views of the Vale of Clwyd, which I'll show you a bit later. How's that for a view? Some serious puddles here too. Like a pond there, not a puddle. I'd call that a pond. Right, wind. Bit sheltered, so I don't think I'm going to need my earplugs for this one, but just negotiating these puddles and stuff. Wow, slippy. Yeah, nice and sheltered here. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, be prepared. What I got in my rucksack, I've got no navigational equipment because I don't need that, not on this walk. But what I have got is, I've got no food because it's only a few hour walk. I've got liquid in a metal bottle, some pop, you know. I've got a hat, a fleece hat, gloves. I've got a waterproof, just a thin skin, not so much a jacket, just like a cagoule type of thing, you know, just for the you know, in case it gets wet for the rain, like. But it's as I say, it's just a thin outer skin. I've got first aid kit, whistle, earplugs, cotton wool, which act as earplugs as well. What else have I got? A few, and that's about it really. Yeah, first aid kit, whistle, gloves, and just basics really. No compass, no sat nav, nothing like that. But yeah, I've been in conditions where it's been like a summer's day, nice, lovely, beautiful day. From that to a whiteout, which you literally put your hand in front of you and your hand disappears, or you're or the temperatures plummet. I always remember too, I was on the cantilever on the glidders there, and I've got the videos up, and this lad, he just come out of the mist and he was lost. He didn't know where the hell he was, and he said it was something or other, I'm trying to get down to something or other. I can't remember exactly what he said now. Excuse me, or something. He was going, and I was actually on top of the cantilever, and I had my camera going, like, and it was ice and snow. It was absolutely, the conditions were treacherous, because you'll see me later, and I was like that, talking to the camera. My face was frozen. I could hardly speak. It was that cold, and he only had like a bit of a fleece jacket on and that. He had no rucksack, nothing like that. Things I come across. Anyway, I said, well, if you head down towards, he wanted to get back down to Oggy, I think, something like that. And I said, well, if you can make it that way, but I wouldn't recommend going across Bristly Ridge, as they call it. Well, that's where he headed. Oh, thanks very much, he said. But I sort of guided him. I said, don't go down Bristly Ridge. You can, you know, divert that and come down the side of Trevan. But anyway, off he went. He disappeared into the mist. So whether he made it in one piece or not, I've no idea. But I tell you what, he just appeared out of nowhere and asked me the way. Excuse me, he said, can you tell me how to get, you know, as if he was walking down the street in a, you know, a main road, and he was lost. I don't know where the hell he was. But you can see how cold it was, because my face, I was saying, the lights just supposed to be like that. You could have stick a pin in the side of my cheek and I wouldn't have felt it, because it was that cold. But yeah, it's conditions, you know, you've got to prepare for it. Right, keep going, enough of my nattering. Look at that for a view, eh? Cracking, right in the centre there is Denby. And just across there, you just can't see it from here, is Llandurnog. That's where I've set off the walk, that's where I parked up. So I got about a mile or so to go before I join the main road. Ponies. Yeah, some serious flooding down there. Not surprising with all that rain we had. Some serious flooding up here as well. Well, not serious, but some good puddles. Bit of a tight squeeze. why they're all shoved in there. Some of them are out, some of them are there. Whew. There was smell-o-vision. Bar black sheep as well. Oh god, they stink. That's where I'm heading for. And just them buildings you can see there, hopefully, it's where I parked up. Just coming towards the last about quarter section of the Killsworth byway. And then I'll join the road and then just drop down all the way then. All the way to Llandurnog. She's right in the centre there. Not long to go. But like I say, once you've gone over the top of Pentacle, it's downhill all the way then. Well, set for this Killsworth byway, it's more or less level really. But it's looking up to the tops of Pentacle. But yeah, last look at the Vale of Clwyd. And I've joined the main road and then just drop down. It's nice now. That cold wind up there, wow, temperature, whew, freezing wind, but it's okay down here. Very nice now. That's like I say, you've got to be prepared. Changes in the weather can be quite serious. Right, I'm just a couple of 100 yards away from the road now. All I've got to do is turn right, follow the road all the way back to Llandurnog. So that's it. Great to be back out up in the hills again after all this time. And the very first outing for my boots, my new boots, which performed well actually. So thanks for joining me, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again.